here and do a Mayday and put up one of my favorite games. Especially recently, I've been clearing house a little bit and getting rid of some of the games that I haven't been using in a good while and don't expect to open up uh, in any kind of near future. But one that I am keeping uh, is Traveler. This is the Mongoose version. Uh, I really enjoy this. Well, I've always been a fan of hard sci-fi anyway, and truthfully, if I'd have known about Traveler early on in the day with D&D, I mean, I did, but I never really cracked open the book to look into it too heavily. I did later on buy, I think, original second edition or something. But the Mongoose Traveler is the one specifically that I'm talking about. We did a series of games, I think, on Ivan's channel, uh, and that was enjoyable. But why I like the game? It's more of on the crunchy end for me, even though probably not crunchy for a lot of people because to me I'm fine with mechanics as long as they're not really intrusive to my uh, play. And this to me it uses primarily 2d6, having attributes, characteristics for any kind of task that your strength bonus for opening a door or whatnot, a stuck door, and being in the future, skills to me is more relevant. So if you have to do something with finesse or with your training, uh, that you would add your characteristic or your ability score bonus with your skill bonus to the 2d6, and there's different target difficulty levels that you're rolling against, the average being 8 and up. You make that, then you got it. But there's also an effect. Basically, you roll under it. It's kind of gradient to the DM can interpret it to be like if you roll over the expected success, then there's narrative, flair bonuses. Maybe something, uh, you do it with high style. You roll really under, uh, it could get catastrophic. So I like that interpretive aspect of that you can add uh, to the die roll. Um, it's like all the dice are narrative, so you just kind of take it from there if you want to in the game. Boons and banes are in there also, like if it's a situation where there's something, uh, say you're in a some kind of a rocking vessel and being thrown about while you're trying to do something, concentration, then you get a bane, and you'll roll an extra dice, but you'll take the worst. Uh, you take the best result and remove it, and have to deal with the rest. Boon, you put in that extra dice and you take the worst out, so you get the better results. So that's how that uh, helps tabulate. It's also got armor soak for what you got, but there's situations where they can bypass armor, mainly armor penetration. So we're using equipment in the game that allows for those situations to come up. So the armor soak to me is valid more so in this situation. And even the effect works in the capacity of the armor. You pass that, you roll, and then add your effect onto the number of your effect is like +2. And excuse me. And sorry about that. But if it fluctuates, um, it can give you a little bit more of a bonus on the effect, right? To add to the dice, whatever damage it does, 2d6 against a creature with the effect applied to it. If you roll over 2, if you roll a 10, you had to get an 8 for the creature, then you got an effect of 2, and you add that 2 to the whatever you roll for damage. Um, I don't want this necessarily to be an overview, but what I'm saying is, even though it's full of gear and full of um, ships that you can purchase and buy, and I love that aspect of getting a ship and trying to maintain it by you have a reason more so to go out and do what you have to do to try to make money to keep things going. Uh, Firefly comes to mind, Cowboy Bebop, anything, where you're maybe a bounty hunter or whatever. And you can do anything from that to Star Trek type, exploration, or you could do any myriad combination of adventures, whether it's being a merchant or being explorer, being ambassador, being anything. It's open. It's open. And the game's been around so long. It's got a wealth of information and setting information that you can glean from, or you can just make your own. As you go out there. So I like that. And I like that. I mean, even the ship combat is very similar to what's already been outlined in the basic combat. So there's not much of a step to even conduct that. And another aspect of it, like, I've said it before, like in the early OSRs, you start out, being a greenhorn, 18-year-old, whatever. In this Traveler, you got the character creation at the start, and you make your character and you follow along. It's almost like a mini game before the actual game, and you see the history of the character you have, and you walking through that, and that's where you learn just skills. That's how you get a good feel for the character and how he's laid out, and what makes him who he is and what he knows, And so whenever he brings those skills to bear in the game, there's a history and a reasoning behind it. So I really enjoy that I can start, and know a little bit about the character to implement him when I'm in play. It was another aspect I wanted to point out about the game, but I can't. It isn't coming to mind right now. But the game itself, just as a whole, is not so bulky to me or crunchy to me that I can't handle it. I mean, I was going to say even when you're, it's more mechanized in a way that you get action, almost like action points. You get a significant action and a minor action. Or you can have just three. You can break it up and parse it up, but it kind of gives everybody. I like the initiative too. Everybody has their own initiative. And you can parse up and say what you want in your actions, and it means something, even if everybody, even if it's simultaneous for a couple of people, in the moment, in the rounds as they're progressing, it's rolled simultaneously. So you can affect somebody before they get a chance to affect you. It's not just simultaneous around the board, but if it comes up that way, it's mutual effect, but you can beat somebody to the punch. And there's also a lot of what I enjoy is like ambush and surprise. And there's a reason that you can kind of gather intel to be able to set up, because it does matter if you get the drop on someone and lock a situation down. So that pre-planning and team coordination to do what you need to do to make sure that you come out unscathed and can contain the situation, that's an aspect I enjoy. So really, it just has a lot to offer me personally. And, the space, it gives me a reason to go out in space, and legitimate reason to keep, in the things it offers and buys, the different tech levels that different planets have. And, the mixture of them. So you can go, different planets that you land on can be a totally different situation. There's laws that you have to adhere to, so you can't necessarily introduce technology into a planet without having, some kind of a kickback on you. But anyway, Traveler to me is a keeper. It's a keeper. And it's something that I've wanted to, I'll probably in the future do. And I'd like to do a long run campaign with it, maybe at home or online, who knows. But I enjoyed the time we had playing it before, and I know I'll enjoy it in the future. Okay. especially jamming it, which I haven't done. So anyway, I'll let you guys go and have a great night. All right. All right. Take care.